And welcome to Light Years. Appreciate everyone's patience. Working through some technical difficulties. If it's not bad enough, one of us had technical difficulties. Both of us did at the same time. So that is why we're going a little later tonight. But we are recording right now. Now it's like 20 minutes after the game, but after the Warriors 122-125 loss to the Portland Trail Blazers. Andy, Lou, put aside the tech difficulties. How you feeling, man?
This is how I feel. You see that right there? That's how I feel, Samuel. That's how I feel. First off, you can hear me, right? No lag. I'm good. That was not the worst loss of the season, but each time they lose the exact same way, it becomes the most frustrating loss of the season. So, Sam, this loss right now, the most frustrating loss of the season because they are losing the exact same way and they are not learning from it.
You know what's interesting? I kind of feel, I don't want to say I feel the opposite way, but this game gave me a little optimism as we're sitting here 14 hours before the trade deadline. Most of you will be listening to this within hours of the trade deadline, 6 a.m., 8 a.m. For the old men like me, it'd be more 6 a.m. For the Andy guys, it's more like 10 a.m. But anyway, the point is, I saw a team that I think can compete, but needs a little help. That's how I took tonight's game. I don't think I saw anything against Portland that made me think this team, to me, I see a team who can win the West if they get a little bit of help. That's the way I'm looking at it. I'm going glass half full. My opinion may change tomorrow if they do nothing with the deadline, but that's where my mental state is right now.
Mine, and I'm glad we're doing this because I don't feel that way right now. And part of this is just after the game, but part of it is they've got their best guys on the floor. Jordan Poole played exactly like Steph tonight. So they've got their best guys on the floor. 6 minutes left in the game. It's a tie game, and they lose. That has nothing to do with whether they get Alex Caruso tomorrow. All that
or Jared
Vando's gone now.
Laker legend Jared Vanderbilt.
Yeah, so that doesn't matter. Now you could argue maybe they'd be up by 6 instead of it being a tie game. But either way, games are going to be close come playoff time, and what I saw tonight was embarrassing. Honestly, it was embarrassing. Draymond Green, embarrassing. Andrew Wiggins, absolutely embarrassing for what he threw out there. Klay Thompson, fine. Jordan Poole, pretty good. But all those guys you throw in the last 5 minutes of the game, dude, come on, man. There's nobody that they could trade for that matters. It's those guys that just won a championship 8 months ago that look like they don't know how to play in crunch time. It's pathetic.
So, offensively, I don't disagree with you. Without Steph on the floor, they literally just take jumpers, which is ironic. Steph is known for just jumpers, but like without him on the floor, they don't really know how to do anything other than, kind of kick out threes. The number I'm going to stick with is 125, which is what the Blazers scored tonight. And I think that is where a little help can get them there, because I thought they played good defense in stretches tonight, but not good enough defense. Does that make sense? Like, there were stretches where I saw Draymond. I thought Looney play. Oh, sorry, Looney just. There were stretches where Wiggins looked excellent defensively and highly engaged. And overall, I'm pretty happy with this performance. But it just felt like defensively they needed a little more. One, they only have one lineup that can defend, and that's a lineup when you got Looney, Draymond, and Wiggins out there together. So, like, literally just adding another player gives them a little more optionality with what they can do. But then beyond that, it's it's the same thing. It's the same thing as always. It's like Dante's the only bench guy is reliable. Kuminga was awful today. I don't expect him to be this bad every game, but he's also 20 years old. Expecting him to be the sixth man on a contending team is highly unrealistic. So it's like, to me, they have the bones of a contending team, they do not have the depth to actually hang with teams to me.
No matter,
or am I too optimistic?
Well, this is what I'm glad we're doing it this way, because we've agreed far too often in the last week. So we need to disagree, because I think that, let's say you throw Caruso on this team, who's the guy that I like, so you get some more defense in there, right?
Objectively a great defender. Yeah.
That wins you this game. Wins you this game. Also, objectively, he wins you this game. They have Caruso on this team instead of Wiseman and Moody. That the Warriors win this game. They're not 3 games over 500. Me and you are sitting across from each other, super happy. But my issue isn't that. My issue is they've lost 6+ games this season, and this is even with Steph on the floor. 6+ games this season, the exact same way they did tonight, taking stupid shots. Andrew Wiggins gives up an open layup down 4. Could have had the layup and 1. Now they're down 1, and there's still 14 seconds left. They're fine. Clay actually went to the hole, so he was actually fine. But Jordan Poole, a couple turnovers at the end, out of control. Draymond passes up a wide open layup. Just the collective IQ of this team, offensively in crunch time, Steph included, does not tell me that they're really ready to win anything big, because they haven't done it all season. And that's why, to me, it's so frustrating. The thing is, Sam, I don't know what you're supposed to do, though. Like, is Steve Kerr supposed to just go in the locker room and say, stop shooting fucking threes? You're down 3 with 4 minutes left. You don't need to shoot a 3. And that's all they do. That's all they do.
Yeah. Apologies, by the way. Losing connection there. Andy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm good. You're good.
Just to our listeners, the tech issues were not us delaying to go have some fun. Legitimately way too much time on tech support. Anyway, back to the point. So I guess I threw up a comment here from our guy No Cap, and he goes, they need offense. And I feel like we're kind of going in both directions. So I'm asking you, look, 14 hours to the deadline, it'll be 13 hours soon. And, next thing you know, or next day, they're not going to make a major move. Do you think they need more offense or defense at this stage?
Oh, it's unequivocally they need more defense. They need smarter offense. But, I mean, if you have more offense, what are you supposed to do? Take out Draymond and get a shooter in there? What are you going to take out Wiggins, Poole, Clay? Like, there's no, you can't have better offensive players unless you get KD on the team again. So what they need, and that's the part I agree with you, is they need a guy off the bench that can help defend. As good as Kuminga is, as fun as he is, not a good defender all the time. Whereas if you get someone that can defend, even look at GP2 tonight. I actually don't even think GP2 had a great game. But you can just
He had a hot start.
Yeah, revenge game, you would think. But even then, like, teams know not to go at GP2. Right now, teams look at the Warriors and every single player they go at them. Every single player. Again, I've used the word again. It's embarrassing.
The Warriors got out-rebounded by 16 tonight. Not that that's, the be-all, end-all metric of this team. They've not been the best rebounded team in the NBA at all this year. Looney was in foul trouble for most of the night. So that's an argument to go after a big. I think more than a big, I think they need a front court player. Like, it could be a big wing or it could be a center, but they need someone to rotate in there in one capacity or another. But, like, tonight's game is, for me, is kind of a summation of how I feel about the Warriors. Good, but not good enough. I thought Clay, for stretches of tonight, looked like old vintage Clay, all-star, superstar, clutch player, ran out of gas. Jordan Poole, for stretches of tonight's game, I was like, damn, dude. The only difference between him and Damian Lillard is he doesn't tell everyone how loyal he is every 2 days, But then, he kind of ran out of gas. Wiggins, this is 2 games in a row where I think Wiggins has played kind of like he played in the playoffs last year, where you're just like, that is a reliable wing. But, beyond that, and I'll throw Draymond in there. Draymond played a really good game for the most part. Nothing else you can rely on, and they run out of gas. They ran out of gas. It's, not a lot. JaMychal Green did not play well tonight. He's played really well for a while, but in general, you probably don't want to be relying on JaMychal Green to be like first big off the bench,
Right.
And just on down the line, like it does feel like absence of a huge move. This team just needs someone who can make an impact so that everyone can not have to play 40 minutes a game, because Clay played 38 minutes tonight. And I'm like, I can't even remember what he sat, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, he ran out of gas at the end. You can kind of tell he ran out of gas. Great game, by the way. Happy birthday, Klay Thompson. I thought he was special. Tonight got to the rim a bunch, little floaters and all this stuff, which I've never seen before. I thought that was really cool. I do think you look at the Boston Celtics last season. I think that's a pretty good comparison. They got Derek White at the trade deadline, who ended up being in seventh, I think maybe you could say. And he wasn't very good in the NBA Finals, but he was a guy that got them there. He was the guy that essentially put together lineups that you could say, all right, he's going to be a really good wing defender and also make a bunch of threes and make a bunch of clutch threes and can handle the ball. And he's not going to be playing crunch time most of the time, but he put that Celtics team, really put them over the hump and got them to the NBA Finals. And I think that's what it feels like with these Warriors. That's what they need. They need someone to put them over the hump, because unless something changes with Kuminga or maybe even Poole consistently, maybe if this is who Poole is consistently, maybe then they'll be fine. But
Andy.
Yes. Uh-oh. What?
We have breaking news.
Oh, whoa. What do we have?
Oh, we have some breaking news.
Oh, shit.
A player who used to play for the Golden State Warriors is on move to the Western Conference. Kevin Durant is supposedly, per Shams, being traded to the Phoenix Suns for a package including Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, 4 first-round picks, and additional draft compensation. Whew. Wow. Did not see that coming down in live time. Just for everyone listening, we are recording this at 10:08 p.m. Pacific time on the West Coast, which would be Pacific time. Does this affect how you feel about the Warriors making a move in the West? Okay, so let's be real. They just gutted their wings. So now it's Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Damian Lee, and DeAndre Ayton. It's not a bad team.
That is okay. All right. I just collected my thoughts. It's a good team. It's a good team. I love that trade. So the Suns are the team that just got new ownership, right? Matt Ishbia. And so new ownership, as Ben Simmons always say, you're going to make a big move. What you don't want to do is make that big move for Rudy Gobert, which is what Minnesota did. What you want to do is get a proven champion like KD. Does this make him the best team in the Western Conference? I don't know, but for sure they're on the same tier as the Clippers. I would say they're on the same tier as the Clippers, who are probably a tier above the Memphis Grizzlies. I would say the same tier as the Clippers will probably be the Warriors. So would that be the kind of tier right now that everybody's in? And then you could maybe argue because the Nuggets have the best regular season record, maybe they're the highest tier or whatever. But, I mean, this is a great move. They don't give up Ayton. They still got a big guy that can help KD a little bit. They don't have a wing defender. I'll be curious to see how Booker and KD are going to work, especially with General Paul, your guy CP. Like, how is that going to work? Because is CP going to play off ball? You got 2 high usage guys. Is CP going to play off ball? Maybe they move him. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
First off, anytime you can turn,
you're shook.
Anytime you can turn role players into Kevin Durant, you do it.
Yep.
This is a no-brainer in terms of moves you're gonna make to compete, because he's a better player. I don't know how I feel about the Suns roster right now. I'm trying to think of it from a Warriors perspective. Does this make the Warriors more or less likely to make a move right now.
Dude, if you tell me that's less likely, I'm gonna tell you to F off. Because that means you're giving up. At that,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna say it again, that would be embarrassing. If the Warriors, if Joe Lacob, Bob Myers, Steve Kerr look at this move and say, well, what's the point of making a move? You know what I mean? That's embarrassing.
I agree.
Because this actually makes you need to trade for someone like Alex Caruso even more. Even more. You need more defenders. You need more good players. You need more. What you don't need is nothing, right? What you need is more. And you should not be afraid to do that moving forward.
I'm concerned that this gives them an easy out to be like, we couldn't, we got to wait, which is, I agree with you. Corny. Like if they actually go down that route, now I'm getting mad for no reason. I'm not going to get mad. I'm in a good mood. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm keeping my cautious optimism until noon tomorrow, in which case I will get mad if I need to get mad. Awesome. It was super chat for us. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Blame them for late game executions, but they were good enough. They've been good enough. There's no margin of error. I mean, yeah, if we want to tie in the trade that just went down to the Warriors have no margin of error. What gives you margin of error? Better roster. So let's see. The pressure's on Bob right now. The pressure is on big Bobby Myers to make a move. I think it's good, honestly. I think the whole 2 timeline thing was always bullshit. They won in spite of the second timeline last year. Did James Wiseman play any minutes last year? Did Moses Moody play minutes that mattered? Did Jonathan Kuminga play minutes that mattered in the playoffs last year? They love to claim their 2 timeline plan worked. To me, it's just the older guys saying F you in general that worked. Now they have to face a situation that's a little more realistic, which is if you want to win a title, you got to go all in.
You gotta go all in.
And let's see what they do, man.
You gotta. What just popped into my head, Sam?
Mm-hmm.
You know what just popped into my head? There's 2 moves that the Warriors can make that would that it's for Caruso. You get rid of Wiseman, you get Caruso, and you get OG Anunoby. You put Kuminga and Pixon at you and get OG Anunoby, and that's a team that you're going all in. Warriors aren't going to do that, but those are 2 guys that are obviously on the market right now, and
I mean,
the Warriors need to make
look, man.
They need to do something.
OG is a lot more valuable if you got to guard Kevin Durant
100%.
and Kyrie Irving in the same. If you're going up against the Dallas Mavericks with Kyrie and Kate and Luka on the same team, where you need multiple wing defenders, or you go up against the Phoenix Suns, where you got Devin Booker and you got Kevin Durant on the same team, and you need multiple defenders. Yeah, I mean, I honestly was not in favor of going for OG because I didn't want to give up Kuminga. Might have to do it. Might have to be the move right now. Might have to be the move.
And also, another thing now that I think about it more and more, the Suns don't have any defense. The Suns don't have any defense. They traded a lot of defense. Especially with Mikal Bridges. And so, it might work. If the other thing I think is interesting too is you might have KD against Kyrie in the postseason. That might be a second round matchup. God, that would be great television. The other thing to point out here too, the standings. So the teams that are in front of the Warriors right now, the Dallas Mavericks just picked up Kyrie Irving. They just won without Luka. Another team that's in front of the Warriors that are also pretty close to them, the Phoenix Suns, they obviously just picked up Kevin Durant. The Clippers are up and down, but you got to think that they're probably going to make a couple win now moves. Those are 3 teams that are above the Warriors right now that probably aren't going to be a play-in team. So does that leave the Warriors enough space to get in as the 6th seed? Or are they just most likely going to be a play-in team? Because if that's the case, then, all this just gets increasingly difficult, right? So the West, as mid as it is, man, we're seeing some moves. We're seeing some
Everyone in the East is spent 3 months complaining about how much harder their conference is, and lo and behold, we're back to the West being stacked and the East being a joke.
And the Lakers made great moves today. Let's not forget the Lakers made great moves. I mean, D'Lo's kind of a joker, but they got Malik Beasley and Vanderbilt, who are decent role players, like perfect role players for LeBron. So the Lakers made a couple moves. So looks like our team, the Warriors, are the only ones that are, Bob Myers is moving in silence, though, Sam, per sources. He's moving in silence.
We'll see. I was feeling, I was feeling confident. I was feeling confident before the game, before all this went down. Now I'm wondering. Now I'm wondering. All right, let me ask you this. Do you feel like the Warriors can compete in the West if they don't make a move?
Yeah, I feel like they still could. I feel like they still should.
Ooh.
I feel like they still should.
Louis gonna check KD and we're good.
It's gonna be Andrew Wiggins, and they'll put Clay on Devin Booker, and it'll be tough. But that's not. I mean, I think you got to think of it from the perspective of the entire league, the entire conference. The Warriors are the defending champions. They're good enough. They have guys that are healthy today outside of Steph Curry. They still should make a trade, but if they're in a 7-game series, they're going to be fine against whoever they faced. I think the issue with this team right now, I guess going back to this game, Tim, they are losing in ways that they are not learning from. They are not learning from the way that they're losing. You would think after months and months of late game shot selection that they're going to change from that, but they're not. And that's the frustrating part. It's like, throw away the fact that KD's now in here on the Suns and Kyrie, all that stuff. Take care of the games that you can win in front of you. And the Warriors just haven't done that. They just haven't. So I'm just, my prayer here is like, yeah, they're just going to magically figure it out because they've won 4 championships. That's all I've got, dude. That's all I've got. I don't have any evidence that this team is going to change outside of, they've won 4. So how many has Kyrie won? How many has KD won? You know what I mean? So that's all I've got.
Yeah. I pulled up Paul's comment here. He goes, Joey Lightyear's the hubris before the fall. We have less than 14 hours to the deadline. And, that's kind of where I'm at. That's kind of where I'm at with the Warriors right now. Show me something. This whole, 2 timeline thing, you can't be halfway in 2 directions. You got to kind of go for it. True in all aspects of life, right? You either got to be all in or you got to be all out. It's cute that you want to do a bunch of different things. Yeah.
And these teams are all in. The Memphis Grizzlies have the ammo in the war chest to make a move tomorrow. And let's go down the list. And
they're good in the West.
Yeah, they were good in the West. The Denver Nuggets might toss a few moves out there. Just said that the Clippers are going to make a move. And so, I don't know how, if you are Joe Lacob and Bob Myers, that you look at this and say, yeah, we're good. I don't know how. To me, that means you're punting the season. That's what it means to me. As much as I'm frustrated with the way they close games, Sam, you're telling me that you don't want to move off James Wiseman? I just watched the Lakers trade Russell Westbrook, who's, talk about a negative asset, for a couple role players that are pretty darn good. I watched them trade 4 second-round picks for some, I'm not saying Rui is going to be anything, but just watch them do that. There are moves out there that can be made, right? So, talking about the Warriors closing lineup being embarrassing, be the case for the front office to not do anything tomorrow afternoon. Okay, let me ask you this then, because we're going to do a show tomorrow again after the trade deadline.
And hopefully it's a happy one.
What are the chances the Warriors make a trade? Per Sam sources, what are the percentages today?
You know what, my man? I was cautiously optimistic.
Oh.
I was moving very highly. I was sitting in the 42 to 44% range, thinking a move was happening. Currently, it's been kicked down. I'm feeling less optimistic.
Wow.
I'm now down to 27, 25%. I think they're going to punt.
Oh, God.
I'm feeling very negative right now. That's where I'm at right now.
Wow.
Maybe it's just because I saw what the Suns did, but I'm feeling negative.
Wow. By the way, the Nets gave up unprotected picks in 2023, 2025, 2027, and 2029. All unprotected. That won't bite them in the ass. I'm sure it won't. Sure it won't.
You mean when KD's 41? You think that pick's going to be good?
KD's going to be traded to another team in a year and a half. I don't even know. Like, come on, let's be serious. From Nah here. This is so sorry. Serious teams are improving, but we got to hear tomorrow. We're going to hear tomorrow that we quote unquote tried. If somehow Steph gets one more with this garbage, he's the GOAT.
Whew. That's true. I can't argue with that one. Can't argue with that one, my friend. Man, I was feeling optimistic right before the show, and now we've turned into this. That's where I'm at with it. Not loving the mood on Light Years right now.
Do we have any voicemails, Tim? Do we have let's go to some people.
Is it even worth getting into? They were called before the trade, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we've got a quote from Steve Cohen. I'll read another one from you. It's from Anthony Slater. We had a few chances late for layups. I thought we should have taken the layups rather than constantly searching for threes. That's something we'll discuss the next couple days. Newsflash, Coach Kerr. Probably something you should have discussed 6 months ago, 5 months ago. I'm sure he has. I say it jokingly. I'm sure he has. At some point, it's not on the coach. It's not on the coach. As veteran players, championship players, you got to know that's what you got to do. I've seen Draymond throw that pass out a million times. It didn't piss me off that much. It's just a down three with 4 minutes, chuck a three. Steph has been doing it all season. All season. Hasn't worked once. 8 to 10 games that they've lost. They should probably be the one that's a 3 seed right now, and they should add a piece and they'll be fine. Instead, me and you are sitting across from each other. You know, gonna have to look at the Suns tomorrow. Do Warriors play the Suns the rest of the season?
Oh yes,
maybe
in a bad mood. Bad mood.
Maybe
we're gonna play.
Yeah,
it
play this.
All the club want to do is qualify for the last 16, and as long as they get the money, the revenue, qualify. It's not to win the competition. They're not interested in winning the competition. As long as they qualify and make plenty of money, sell plenty of shirts at the end of the season, plenty of popcorn.
We're not getting that negative right now. We're not going to get that negative, but it's hard to look at this. You know what? I'm going to give Bobby some time. We will be back. You guys know we're not going anywhere.
Live show.
No, I'm not. You know what? Like, you can't get rid of me that quick. So we will be back after the trade deadline tomorrow afternoon. We will break it all down right then. We appreciate everyone who listens, subscribes. Can't get rid of us.